Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today we will be doing a very simple but interesting project that we can add to our portfolios. The name of the project is British Airways Reviews. So before we dive into the project, let me show you the final product that we will design in this project. So this is our final dashboard, as you can see on the screen. And at the top, this is the title of the dashboard, and then we have these reviews. These are the average rating on the basis of these KPIs. Like this is the average rating, or you may also say overall rating. Then this is the average cabin staff service, then average entertainment, food and beverages, ground service, seat comfort, value for money. So these are the overall average rating on the basis of these KPIs. Then if you look at the left side of the dashboard, we have this first filter, which is pick a metric, and we have these different metrics over here. So this is the overall rating metric. If I want to see the results on the basis of the cabin staff service rating, so I will click on this preview button, and we can see that as this is a dynamic dashboard, so all the results will change according to the option we selected. We can also check on the basis of the seat comfort. So let me click on this, and then we will see the result on the basis of this seat comfort option. And this is the average rating seat comfort by month. As you can see, if I hover over this point, it's showing me that this is June 2020, and the seat comfort rating, average rating was 3. If I click on this peak point, so in September 2020, the overall rating was 4.5. So it's showing me the data according to this option. If I hover over this map field chart, this is Canada, and the number of reviews were 34, and 2.8 was the average rating for the seat comfort. So if I hover over any country, and this will show us the data according to that country. As we can see, this is United Kingdom, and the British Airways belong to them, so we have the most number of reviews from this country, which is 2.9, and the number of reviews is 849. So this is the way we can gain insights from this dashboard using these buttons. Then we have the next filter, which is on the basis of the timeline. So the overall timeline for this project is March 2016 to October 2023. If I want to reduce this timeline from this end, for example, if I want to check the values from October 2020 to October 2023, which is a span of 3 years, so it will show us the values according to this timeline. As you can see, this is July 2022, and the overall rating was 3.56. If I want to select this timeline, if I want to check the rating on the basis of food, so this is going to be the result we will get from this chart. And same is the case here, but it is on the basis of the country. And the chart at the bottom of this dashboard is average food by aircraft. So any parameter we want to select, this will give us the result on the basis of the aircraft. So we can select any timeline, any option from pick a metric, and this will give us the value by aircraft, overall average rating, or any rating that we select from here. So I will select again the whole timeline and overall rating. Let me explain this filter, which is traveler type. So traveler type may be anyone. Some of them, most of them were null values, so we had to include this. Like there was no data provided about the traveler type. And then business class, then couple leisure, then family leisure, and solo leisure. So these are all the traveler type. If I, for example, if I click on this option, so this will show us the data on the basis of couple leisure, and we can hover over any of these charts, and we will gain insights from these charts. Okay, so let me select on the all again. Then we have the seat type. So seat type may be business class, economy class, first class, premium economy. So these are the different types of seats. We also have null values in it, so there's also a type in this data set, so we can see the results on the basis of any of these seat types. Then we have the aircraft group. As we can see that these are the different aircrafts being used by the British Airways. So we can select any of them, and we will see the result. For example, if I click on this one, which is Boeing 747, and it's 400, or so let me click on this one, and now we will see the results on the basis of Boeing 747. So the value is say 4.7. So this is like the most famous aircraft on the basis of the reviews we got, the overall rating and traveler type and seat type and all those metrics. So if I click on any other aircraft, we will see the values on the basis of that aircraft. Then we have another filter, which is on the basis of continent. So if I click on the Asia, so we will see the results on the basis of this continent. So it's China, Japan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and these are the different countries. This is India, and this is Thailand. So these are the different countries we can see, and these are the overall rating on the basis of this continent. We can select any continent from here. So let me select all again. So this is the overall dashboard that we'll be designing in this project. And once we design this dashboard, you can share it on your LinkedIn profile or anywhere, and you can also add this project into your portfolio, and this will attract the stakeholders and It will also help you gain more knowledge and more experience and while using Tableau. So stay with me. So now, as you can see that we are on the Tableau public, so the first thing we will do, I will go to this file menu and I'll click on open, and I'll open the dataset that we'll be working on, which is the British Airways reviews and the country. So I'll click on this and I'll click on open. I have shared the link to these files in the description of the video. You can download it from there, so you can also work on this project. So let me click on this British Airways reviews and we will wait until the dataset is loaded. So finally, the British Airways reviews dataset is loaded. Let's go through these fields one by one. So the first field is header, which contains the reviews, and then we have the author, then the date on which the review was given, and then the place where the review took place, and then we have the continent, aircraft, traveler type, and then seat type, and we also have some useful other fields like rating, seat comfort, cabin staff service, food beverages, ground service, value for money, and entertainment. So these are all the fields that we'll be analyzing in this project. Let me also drag this country's dataset over here. And now we will have to combine these two datasets on a common field. So if I select the place from here, because the place is the field where that contains the name of the country, and as this field is about the country, so we'll select the country from this dataset. So this way we will combine these two datasets, and now I will go to my sheet 1. So guys, as you can see that we are on the sheet 1, the first thing we have to do, this is the place field, and if you look at the icon, it shows us that this is a string data type, so we'll have to convert it into a geographical role. I will select country region. Now this is converted into a geographical data type. I'll double click on it and Tableau will load the map for us. Now the next thing we have to do, if you remember, let me drag in the dashboard that we are going to create. 1 second. So the first filter was pick a metric, and these were the options. So we will be creating this by using a parameter. So I'll click on this down arrow and I'll create a parameter, and then first thing we'll give it a name. So I will give it a name, pick a metric, and then the data type is going to be string. The values are in the form of list, and the first value is going to be overall rating. Then the second value is going to be the cabin staff service, and then we have the next value, which is entertainment. So it's going to be entertainment, and then we have the next value, which is food, and then we have the ground service, and then we have seat comfort, and then we have value. I'll click on OK. So as you can see, the parameter is created. I'll right click on it and I will click on show parameter, and then I'll click on this single value list. The next thing we have to do, we have to create a calculated field. I will name it as metric selected, and we will write a case statement. Case pick a metric when overall rating, then give me the rating. When pick a metric is going to be, the next one was cabin staff service, then give me cabin staff service. When the third option was, I think, entertainment. Yes, entertainment, then give me entertainment. When the fourth option was food, so when food, then give me food and beverages. And when ground service, then give me ground service. When seat comfort, then give me seat comfort. When value, then value for money. And we will end this statement, and I'll click on apply and I'll click on OK. Now as you can see, the the calculated field is created. Now what I have to do, if you are on if you are using Mac, then you will have to hold the function key and drag it to this color tab. If you are using Windows, then you just have to drag it with the holding the right mouse button, and you just have to release it over here, and you have to select the average matrix selected and click on OK. Now I'll have to tidy up the map a little bit, so I'll go to this map and make, make the background maps as normal. I'll again go to this background layers. I'll drag this washout to 50, and I will select the coastline. I will uncheck the state, and this is okay for now. What we have to do next, we'll have to apply coloring. We will make the opacity 100% and then click on edit colors. So we will choose a specific color code for this project. Let's click on it, and the hex code is 013220, and I click on OK, which is specific green. I click on apply, and I click on OK. So now we have applied the changes to the map. Let me check whether this metric is working on this map or not. So if we click on any of these options, we will see that the map changes accordingly. So it looks fine. What we have to do next, I will drag this state into this filter column, and I will select on days, and I'll select on apply and OK. So the map disappears. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to click on this continuous month, and we'll click on OK. So the map reappears. What next we have to do, I'll have to apply this to all using this data source. And now I will also click on the show filter. So now if we changes the value in this filter, you will see that the results changes accordingly, but I'll have to drag it down below this metric. Now what we have to do next, we'll have to right click on this seed type and click on show filter, and we'll apply the same option, apply to all using this data set, and we will also have to drag it down, and we'll also have to change this to single value list. The next thing we have to do, it's going to be the traveler type, so I'll right click on it and show filter, and again I will click on it and I'll apply to all the worksheets using this data source, and I will also click on show filter, but it's already selected. So let me check. Yes, this is the traveler type. We will have to first drag it down, and then I'll click on this and I'll make it as a single value list. So it looks fine now. What's next? Now what we need to do next, we also have to apply a filter on the basis of the aircraft. So let me, okay, this is the aircraft, but the problem we have with the aircraft field, let me show you. Let me create a new worksheet and let me drag this to the rows, and as you can see that we have so many aircraft, and if you want to see the number of reviews against each aircraft, so I will drag this BA reviews file into this text uh, this tab, and we will release it just over this tab, and then we can see if I just uh, sort it on descending order. And 1 second, let me just do some changes. Let me select this all, so we can see the overall rating and everything. So now we can see that we have different reviews, different number of reviews against each aircraft, but this is a very long list. What if I just group the aircraft that have less than 50 reviews into one single group? So what I can do, I will select on this 37, and then I will hold the shift key and will scroll all the way to the bottom, and I'll click on this. So these are now selected, and I will click on this icon which says group members. I'll group them, and now we can see that these are grouped together, but we can change the name. So I'll right click on it, and I will edit alias, and I will call them as others. So now we can see that the list is very tidy and easy, pleasing to look. So this is what we wanted to do with that. And now what I have to do next, let me rename this as map, and I will right click on it and I will click on show filter, and I will again click on this and apply to all using this data source. So we will apply this, and we have this aircraft, but let me make some changes over here. So single value drop down will be the best option, because we don't have so much space here, and I will just drag it down to the all the way to the bottom. So this is now, let me just check. Let me click on all. So now it shows us the values on the basis of all aircrafts, but if I want to select Boeing 747, so now it's showing us only the values for the Boeing 747. And if we click on this tooltip, so we can just rename this the parameter selected, and okay. Now if I hover over any of these maps, so we will see the ratings. And one things we have to do, we just have to click on this format, and we'll have to click on pen, and we will convert this into percentage or number, and we'll make it as one decimal place. Now if I hover over this, so it shows us 4.1, 4.1, 3.99, so it looks a bit tidier now. So what we have to do next, so we also have to apply a filter on the basis of the continent. So let me see where's the continent content, and where's the continent root this, it's gonna be okay. Here's the continent. I will just click on it, right click on it, and show filter. And we also have to do the same thing. We will apply this to all the worksheet using this data source. So it's fine now. And what we have to do next, we'll also have to make it single value drop down. And let me select all, and let me drag it all the way to the bottom of this section. So I think we have all the required. Let me drag in the final dashboard that we are designing, just to see if we are good to go with these filters. So I think, yeah, we have done all the task for the filter, so we will now proceed. But before we proceed further, let me do some changes in this tooltip. So I'll double click on it. I don't want this place to be shown to us, and I also want one thing. I will write it as average parameter, and I will uncheck these two options. I include command buttons, allow selection by category, and I click on OK. Now when we hover over this, so it's showing us that average cabin staff service 3.5 and Russian Federation is the name of the place, and now this is China and showing us according to that. If I click on overall rating and I click on this all, so it's average overall rating, so it looks fine now. And one thing further we can do, which I think is very important, like this, if I hover over this Russian filtration, it says average overall rating is 4.0, but we don't have any idea about how much reviews we have got for this from this Russian filtration, which makes sense, and we have to include that count in our analysis. So what I can do, I will just drag these reviews into the tool tab, and I'll double click on it, and I will write it like this. Number of reviews, and I will select the parameter, which is count of the number of reviews, and let me make them all these tooltip bold, and let me click on OK. Now if we click hover over any location, it also is showing us now the number of reviews, the rating, but also the number of reviews, which we have to consider in our analysis. So I think it looks fine now. So I think we are done with the map, and now we will proceed to our next step. So let's go. So now what we have to do next, let me drag in the summary dashboard first. So we will create this summary dashboard right at the top of the dashboard. So we will create this thing. So let's begin. First of all, I will click on the sheet 2. I'll clear everything, and the first thing I have to do, I'll holding the right mouse button, I will drag it and release it over this text field, and I will select the average rating, and I'll click on OK. Next thing I have to do, I will drag this seat comfort with the right mouse button, and I will release it right over the top of this value. When it says show me, I will release it and will select seat comfort. Next we have to drag this cabin staff service and release it over here, and again select cabin staff service average, and then we have this entertainment. We will also drag this one, and we'll also select average. Again we will drag this ground service, and we will select average, and then we will also drag the value per money. We will select average and we'll release it. So this is average rating, average seat comfort. I think food is still remaining. Where is the food and beverages? I think we also have to drag this one, click on average food beverages. So these are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So these are overall 7, and let me take this to the column section. Now what I have to do, holding the control key, I will copy this and I will release it over here, and now I will widen these columns just to see the values. Okay, the first thing I'll have to do, I'll right click on it and I will hide the header first, and then I'll double click on it and I will rename it as summary, and I will make it as bold, apply, okay. Next I have to do some formatting, so I'll click on this text field and I'll click on this center line and I'll click on this. So we have the measure value, so measure values has to be bold and we'll make it like 20 or maybe 18 is also fine. I'll click on apply, or maybe 20 is good. Click on apply and I click on OK. But now as we see, can see these rating are up to 3 decimal places and I don't want them to be in this format. So what I can do, I will right click on this this in format and pen, and I'll click on this custom and I'll make it to only 1 decimal place. Or what we can do, I will click on this format already there. I'll click on this number custom, I'll make it to, or what's wrong with this thing, let me do it again. I'll right click on it. I'll right click on it and I'll click on format and I will columns fields, I will right click on it. Let me check format. This is going to be the numbers 1 decimal place. I replaced all the values but not this one. Let me do it from here, format, and I'll click on this number custom and only 1 decimal place. So it looks fine now. It's up to only 1 decimal place. Now what we do, what we need to do next, I will just rename it. I will name it as summary, and let me drag in the dashboard again. So now we will have to design this line chart which shows average overall rating by month. So we will have to design this thing. So first of all, what I'll do, I will create a new sheet and I will drag this date field to the columns, and I'll click on the continuous months, and then I will drag this matrix selected to the rows. And now what I will have to do, we'll have to make this as average, so I will go to this measure and make it as average. So it looks fine now. What we have to do next, we will apply colors to this. Let me first select this line chart and let me apply the color, more colors. We will apply the same color code that we applied before. It's going to be 220, 013, 220. This is the color that we're going to apply. And what we have to do next, we have to do some formatting. So if I click anywhere, right click on this and I click on the format, we will have to remove any rows, and let me just select all of them. I'll make it as none. Don't want any column divider as well, and I will also make these values as none. We'll also remove any rows, zero lines, reference lines, drop lines, axis rulers, axis sticks. From where we can remove these, I think from here. Let me make them 0 all, none, none. So I think we have removed all the rows and columns, and let me also hide the title. I'll just remove this, and I will also double click this and I will remove this title. Okay. We're also gonna rename this page, so I will name it as average and then pick a metric and then by month, and we also have to make them bold and center aligned. I will click on apply, click on OK, and looks fine now. I will also rename the sheet. I will rename it as month. Now if I drag in the dashboard, so we are only 1 second, let me drag in. So we have created this chart which is by month, and this is by country. So now we are left with only this one, which is average overall rating by aircraft. So now let's do this one. So we will create a new sheet, and what I am going to do, I'll drag this aircraft field to this row section. 1 second, I need to drag this one, and I also have to drag the matrix selected. Where is the matrix selected? By holding the right mouse button, and I will select the average, and I will click on OK. I will drag it with the right mouse button key, holding that one, and just release it over here. And now I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sort it descending order. I will edit the axis, or let me do one thing. We also need the number of reviews, so I will drag this thing, and I will 1 second, I'll drop it over here. So this is the count of reviews. I will drag this one with the left mouse button, and this one will be with the right mouse button. And now what I have to do, I'll just edit this axis, and instead of custom we will use the parameter. Yes, that's the easiest way. And I'll also edit this one, and I will give it as a name as number of reviews. Oh, okay, it looks fine now. I'll do some formatting as well. So if I click on format, I'll remove any column dividers and rows dividers, so I'll make it as none. I'll also make it as none. I'll make them none as well, and also this one. We will also we'll make all these lines as none. So it looks perfect now. Let's also remove these field labels, and then we also have to apply the colors. So let me make changes to the colors as well, and we're gonna select the green that we applied to the previous charts, 0 1 3 2 2 0. Let me click on OK, apply, and OK. And for this one, let me change the color to pink one, because pink goes well with the green. Let me give it the hex code. It's E75480, and let me click on OK. So this looks nice now. So we also have to drag this. You hold in the control key and leave it here, so the scale will also be applied. But let me do the changes again. Let me apply that same color again. So it's E75480. Let me click on OK, apply, and OK. So it looks perfect now. We also have to apply the labeling, so let me drag this with control key and place it over the labels. Sorry, let me do it again. I will drag it and place it over here. Sorry, let me apply by using this icon, and let me drag it a little bit down so you can see all the values. But here the problem is that these values are up to 3 decimal places, so we will right click on it, format, pen, and we will add number custom and only 1 decimal place. So it looks perfect now. Now we also have to rename this. We will just write it like this: average, insert, parameters become metric, and by aircraft. And I will also make it as bold and center aligned, and apply, and OK. And I don't need these two. I will just hide them. Hide card. OK. And finally I will rename this page as aircraft. Okay, now we will design our dashboard. So let me click on this icon, dashboard icon, and from here I'll give it as fixed size, and I'll make it as 1920 by 1080. You can give it any size. For now I will give it this size, and I will drag this one, this open space, and I will give it a name, British Airways reviews, and I'll make it as Tableau semi bold. I'll make it as 22. Let me make it 18, and the color is going to be black. Okay, and now I will give it x and y axis. What we need to do next, I will drag the summary dashboard as well, and we will have to do one thing. I'll hide this title, hide title, and we will drag it over here, and I'll make it as entire view. Okay, first let me do some layout changes to this. So we will make the width to be around 200 and height to be around 150. Let me check. What if we make it as 200 as well? 250. Sorry, the height is fine. We'll make the width as 250 just to fix this title in 2 lines only, and I'll make it as 150. Okay, I think it looks good now. And we will also make the height of this column, this section, as 150. Let's see. And we will give it the value of the x-axis as 250, and it's going to be 0. So these are now perfectly aligned. Let me click on it again. It has to be 0. Okay, it looks fine now. What I have to do, I click on this and give it a background, which is this green color we already used, dark green, and we'll make this text as white, a little bit of white, and center aligned, and then click on OK. And now I will click on this section. I'll go to the format and shading, and I'll give it the same color. And for the text, I'm gonna go with the white. So it looks perfect now. Now what I'm going to do next, let me click on dashboard, and I will drag this month over here. And as we can see, we have so many filters. So what we have to do, let me just do one thing. I will just select this vertical container and we'll drag it over here. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna, where is this metric? Yeah, so I will click on this tag, and I will bring it over here. I will just drag it just a little bit down and go to the layout. I'll make it as 0. Okay, it looks fine now. And if I drag this metric, you're holding the shift key, and I'll drag it into it, so it will become as tiled. And now I have to drag this one there as well, holding the shift key, and I'll put it over here. And then we gonna, one second, let me just, okay, so I'll drag this one holding the shift key, and then I'll drag this one holding the shift key, and then I will drag this one holding the shift key, and finally this one holding the shift key. One second. So it looks perfect now. What we have to do next, one thing I forgot to do, let me go to this sheet again. I will just rename it. I will write it like this, average, and pick a metric and by country. And I'll make it as bold and center line. And I'll click on apply and I'll click on OK. Now if I go to my dashboard again, let me drag in the other uh, the month and aircraft as well. So I'll drag it over here and I will leave. But one second, let me just click on this floating and let me drag it in over here, and I will and just align it. Let me check. So this is we will just make it aligned, and I will also make it a little bit bigger. I will also make this one a little bigger. So it looks good now. Now we also have to drag in the aircraft. So I will align it with the other charts. And I'll make it as the entire view. So it looks perfect now. Let me just zoom it a little bit. You may take your time while just aligning these items. Let me click on this layout. So at 165, if I make this one 165 as well, and this one as well, and let's add 72. This one is 253. So if I also make this 253, so these are now perfectly aligned. And this one is okay. So it looks good now. What we have to do next? Now we also have to make a separation line over here. So how am I going to do this? Let's do it. If I just drag a blank paragraph, a blank rectangle over here, and I just have to make it like this. Let me make it a little bit wider, and first I will drag all the way to the bottom, and then I will make it like this, and I will give it a background color which is going to be this green. And now this is the separation between these filters and these charts. We can also move it a little to the right, and it looks good now. I think it's fine. So what we have to do next? So now let's just test our background. So let me hover over these charts. If I hover over this by month chart, it's showing that average metric selected. So we'll have to do some changes here. So let me go to the sheet and I click on the tooltip. We don't need this month update, and we will make it as pick a metric, and I'll click on OK. And now if I go to my dashboard again, so now this looks much better. And if I click on this chart, so we have the same problem here. So let me go to the sheet and let me click on the tooltip. So I don't need this thing. I'll just remove it, and instead of this I will make it as pick a metric, and I click on OK. And now if I go to my dashboard again and I hover over this chart, so when I hover over this chart, so it's showing me the aircraft name and the overall rating that we have selected from here. If I click on this cabin staff crew, cabin staff service, then it's gonna show me the values regarding to that. But we also have another problem. We are seeing the values up to 3 decimal places. Let me do the changes as well. So I'll go to this sheet and I'll make this. I'll go to the format and go to the pen, and from here I'll select the number custom and I'll make it to only 1 decimal place. Now if I go back to my dashboard, so it's also now perfect. So I think we are done with these three charts. What next? Now I think we also have to make changes to this one as well. So let me go to the sheet again, And if I click on this one, and if I click on the tooltip, so we don't need this thing. We have to remove this, and we also have to make it like, we will make it simply like number of reviews. I think it's gonna look nicer. So I'll click on OK, and when I go to back to my dashboard and I click on, I hover over this chart, so number of reviews, and this is the name of the aircraft. So I think it looks fine now. We don't have to do any further changes to these three charts, but I think we need to do one thing, one change, one another change. Let me go to this. uh, One thing we can do, if I hover over this bar graph, it's showing me the average cabin staff service rating, but I think we can also add the number of reviews into this. So if I drag this into the tooltip and then I click on the tooltip, and it's gonna show me the number of reviews. I think it looks fine. Let me check. No, we have to add it over here. So I will add it like this, number of reviews. And from where we can add this, we can add this from, add it from this. Okay, and when I click on OK, so now what's the problem there? Number of reviews. Sorry, I have to apply. Oh, I have to remove this. Let me undo my steps, and I have to do these changes into this one. So let me drag this again to this tooltip, and I'll double click on it, and I'll have to add it like this, number of reviews, and then I'll have to pick this option from here and click on OK. So now when I hover over this chart or in the dashboard, so we will see the number of reviews along with the average rating. So it looks much nicer now. Let's also add the average metric selected to this chart tooltip as well. So if I like the count of reviews, so if I drag this thing, which is the metric selected, holding the right key and just release it over the tooltip, and I select the average metric from here, and now I double click on it and I just give it a name, and the text is average, and then select the parameter and then select the metric. So average metric selected, and if I click on OK, now if I hover over this one, so it's gonna show me the reviews but also the average metric selected. So I think this is we are all set with we are all good to go with these three charts. And what next we have to do now, I think we are done with the dashboard. The only thing we have to do, we can now check the overall performance of the dashboard. So what we can do, we will pick up this pick up a metric which is overall rating, and then we can see the values. We can hover over this chart, we can hover over this chart, we can make it a filter as well. We can zoom it or zoom in and zoom out, and then we have this average overall rating by aircraft. So I think all these things looks perfect and working. Yeah, they are working just fine. So we can select any options from here. We can select any continent and we can select any aircraft, and the dashboard is gonna give us the result on the basis of those filters applied. So I think the project is completed, and what we can do next, we can just click on this file menu, and we can share it to our Tableau public account. If you haven't signed in, you should sign into your Tableau public account, and then you can share it on the Tableau public, like on the cloud. You can share it there, and then people can see your work. And you can also share your link with on your LinkedIn profile or anywhere else where you want to showcase your work. So you can save it to Tableau public from here. Yeah, or this option, using this option. I'm already signed in, so it's showing me like this. If you're not signed in, then it will first give you an option to sign into the Tableau public account, and then you can share it from here. So so finally guys, if you have watched this complete tutorial and you have learned something from it, and you also want us to upload more videos on related to data analyst portfolio projects, please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever we upload new videos. And we will be uploading videos on Tableau public, also Power BI, Microsoft Excel, Python, MySQL. So please keep watching the videos and keep supporting us, and thank you very much.